In space, magnesium is released when large old stars explode as supernovas. Less impressive is the magnesium released when you crunch on chia seeds. But that magnesium is super critical to your health. So why do you need magnesium? Where do you get it? How much do you need? Should you take it as a supplement? If so, which form is best for you? Magnesium is part of 300 life-sustaining reactions inside your body that are involved in heart, brain, bone, nerve, and muscle function, blood pressure regulation, DNA and RNA stability, and many more. As a result, not enough magnesium has been linked to cardiovascular disease, osteoporosis, migraines, muscle cramps and weaknesses, and these other conditions. So yes, you definitely need magnesium, which is found in these foods, but in general you get it from plant foods like legumes, dark green leafy vegetables, nuts, seeds, whole grains, and fortified cereals. It's also found in hard drinking water along with calcium, but not soft drinking water. And there's likely reduced amounts in purified water, but you'll need to check the label. So how much magnesium do you need? For adults, the recommended amount is 320 milligrams per day for women, 420 milligrams per day for men, or 5 to 7 milligrams per kilogram per day for any adult. Now those amounts will be higher for pregnant women who need about 400 milligrams per day, and also higher for some athletes, older individuals, people with GI problems, and people with type 2 diabetes. Okay, while the information so far has been pretty straightforward, it gets messy when considering whether to take a magnesium supplement and which form is best for you. For example, here are some of the signs that you might be low in magnesium, including fatigue, loss of appetite, numbness and tingling, and muscle cramps. But as you probably noticed, many of these are common indications that can come from a wide variety of concerns. In order to find out if your magnesium levels are low, you can have the amount measured in your blood. But as magnesium is constantly moving in and out of your blood as it's mobilized from one area like your bones to another area like the cells, blood levels of magnesium aren't a good indication if there's adequate amount in other important places where it's really needed. Now there are other more sophisticated ways to measure the amount of magnesium inside your body, but they're not that much better or they're very expensive. So if you think you might be low in magnesium, the first thing to try is to eat more of those magnesium-rich foods. But even then, the amount of magnesium in those foods is going to vary based on the type of soil and water used to grow them. If adding more of those foods don't seem to help, talk to your doctor about other options. And if you want to try a supplement, here are some things you should know. Magnesium on its own is not soluble in water. Therefore, your body, which is mostly water, won't be able to use it. So magnesium supplements come as salts, where the magnesium is attached to another compound, making it safe and effective to take. However, depending upon what the magnesium is attached to, influences how well it's absorbed and how it's used inside the body. For example, magnesium citrate is well absorbed and may help with constipation. Magnesium chloride is also well absorbed and may help with type 2 diabetes and the heart. Magnesium lactate is also well absorbed and may be gentler than other forms. Magnesium malate is quickly absorbed and might help with fibromyalgia, migraines, anxiety, and depression. Magnesium taurate may be better for blood pressure and glucose regulation. Magnesium oxide is poorly absorbed, but is good for heartburn and constipation. And magnesium sulfate or Epsom salts can help with constipation, and soaking in it may be good for sore muscles. You may also want to consider magnesium complex, which has more than one form of magnesium. Many of those possible benefits I just mentioned with each form need a lot more research. Plus, they may not matter to you. While any of those magnesium supplements can help with a magnesium deficiency, I'd go with one that's better absorbed. Now here are a few other things to consider. Given that the FDA in the US doesn't regulate supplements as they do drugs, it's best to look for a brand that's been tested by a third-party organization, like one of these. Also, liquid types of magnesium supplements like magnesium citrate or magnesium chloride are better absorbed than tablet forms like magnesium oxide and magnesium sulfate. Taking a magnesium supplement with vitamin B6 may increase its absorption, while taking it with calcium, phosphorus, aluminum, or zinc may decrease absorption. When calcium and magnesium are taken together, some research suggests a 2-to-1 ratio of calcium to magnesium. Toxic levels of magnesium can cause diarrhea, nausea, vomiting, muscle weakness, low blood pressure, heart arrhythmias, respiratory problems, and possibly even cancer. So stay as close to the daily recommended amounts as possible. Since magnesium is stored and used in many places throughout your body, and the amount of magnesium in your food and water can vary by quite a bit, makes it really hard to know if there's enough magnesium inside of you, if a supplement will do you any good, and if so, what form. Now, I could have given more black and white answers based on single studies or my opinion and hyped that information. Not that that ever happens on social media. For example, one study showed that magnesium oxide improves cycling performance by reducing muscle damage. But isolated information like that can be misleading because it ignores many of the variables and inconsistencies I just covered. 2 years after that study was published, a review paper of 13 studies, including that one, found very inconsistent findings and a lack of any significant effect of magnesium on exercise. Instead, I provided information from review studies to give you a broad but more realistic perspective on magnesium that covers many of the variables and uncertainties so you can make your own informed decision, which is much better than me trying to pressure or scare you into accepting something that only has a kernel or chia seed of truth. So, as always, my answers come from peer-reviewed research.